What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with another crazy rogue deck video, and this one is going to be about Scovillain EX. With the two-headed crushing attack, you do 140 damage, which is great two-shot numbers, and you discard a random card from your opponent's hand and the top card of your opponent's deck. So this deck card officially has some insane disruption, and if you're worried about two-shotting cards like Dragapult, fear not, because for them specifically, we've got Black Belt training to make sure that we're two-shotting them, once per game, where during this turn, attacks done by your Pokemon do 40 more damage, so then you have 180 damage, plus 140 is going to be 320, swing the magic number, and if you're worried about Charizard EX, don't be, because they're weak to grass attackers, so we're two-shotting them, with Scovillain EX, or one-shotting them with Teal Mask Ogerpon, which is going to function as our draw engine, as well as a backup attacker with Myriad Leaf Shower. It doesn't have a bad backup attack, and Teal Dance allows us to attach an extra energy. Pair that with Energy Switch, and you can easily set up Scovillain in one turn. Past that, the only other Pokemon we're running is Fezandipiti for draw, and 2 copies of Budew in case we need to lead a different Pokemon, stall out our opponent a little bit more. Now, the rest of this deck runs very simply, and basically, all I want to do is disrupt my opponent in the best way possible. So we got 4 copies of Arven, as well as 3 copies of Judge, to make sure that we're drawing into the cards we need, but more importantly with Judge, when we judge our opponent and then use two-headed crushing, we can then put them to 3 cards instead of 4 cards, which helps out a lot. 4 crushing hammers in the deck allow for us to get rid of a lot of energy, and with 1 copy of Handheld Fan, if we can two-shot an attack, we can move even more energy around, causing further disruption, and making our Scovillains swing more often since we're not getting attacked as much, but also make it harder for our opponent to play the game going into the later half. We've got a whole lot of Pokemon Search in the deck. We got 4 Nest Balls, plus 4 Bug Catching sets, which are super consistent in this deck, since we have like 90% Grass Pokemon with the sole exception of Fezandipiti, and then we also have 1 copy of Ultra Ball, just in case we really need to just guarantee a Scovillain EX, a Fezandipiti EX, just any Pokemon we need guaranteed. We got 1 copy of Ultra Ball 4. On top of the disruption card, the disruption energy card, we already have, we're also playing Pokemon League Headquarters, which can be such a perfect card to buy a turn against Raging Bolt. Like Raging Bolt just can't hang if they can't get rid of Pokemon League Headquarters, because an attachment plus a Sada's doesn't do it. They need something more than that, and more often than not, they don't have that lined up unless they have a Pokestop to bump. And when we're going into rotation, Pokestop is going to rotate, so I think Pokemon League Headquarters might even be worth a 2nd copy in this deck. Now, the other supporters we have are 3 Boss's Orders and 1 Iono. Gust is just to make sure we're taking 2-shot KOs on everything possible. Again, we don't necessarily have the strongest attack. We've got more of a disruption style play going on. So if we could Gust up and guarantee our 2-shot KOs, that would be awesome. And just 1 Iono because we're relying on Judge for the predominant hand disruption until the very, very late game, in which case we can hit our opponent with an Iono to 1 and then get rid of that card with 2-headed crushing. Now, the other tool for deck is Rescue Board to make sure we got a pivot, and our A-spec for the deck is going to be Unfair Stamp with the same explanation as Judge and Iono. If our Pokemon was knocked out and we hit them with Unfair Stamp, they draw 2 cards, 2-headed crushing, boom, they're down to 1. And then a top deck will put them at 2, period. So I really, really love Unfair Stamp in this deck. Now, that's pretty much it for the list. I mean, Scovillain EX doesn't have too much to say about it other than just play as consistently disruptive as possible. And in a Dragapult-dominated meta, I figure what better way to make them more annoyed with energy disruption that's not Gengar EX than a Crushing Hammer, Handheld Fan, hand disruption type of deck. So I can't wait to get into this one, but before I do, just wanted to remind everyone, got the TCG Creators Cook-Off on April 5th, hosted by my guy Chef Husky. If you haven't seen his channel, definitely check it out. On April 5th at 11 a.m. there will be a massive streamed event from a whole bunch of content creators who are basically just in a massive cook-off style TCG tournament. My role will not be a player in that tournament, but a caster alongside Chef Husky. I also made, which we will reveal pretty soon at this point, the winner's playmat. So definitely stay tuned for the reveal. Definitely stay tuned for the tournament. It's going to be an awesome time. Hope to see y'all there. Now, before we hop into today's video, just a small reminder that we got that TCG player affiliate link in the description down below. So if you're going to TCG player for any decks, deck accessories, or singles for any card game, doesn't matter what, make sure you hop on over to TCG player via my link in the description down below to support the channel in a huge way. And thank you so much So everyone who's doing that, just everyone who's been showing support to the channel lately, it has been an awesome time putting out more content for y'all. Now, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well Scovillain EX can do. Welcome to match number 1. We are going first, and we open up with a phenomenal going second hand. However, we will be chilling here on the back burner unless I top deck Buddy-Buddy Poffin or a Capsakid, which I do not. I got a bunch of playable cards for the next turn. Right now, I just have to hope my opponent does not have the KO somehow, which, I mean, I don't really know what they're playing. It's safe to say I have not seen the Budew or B-Barrel Scovillain engine in a while, so I definitely like what I am seeing here for my opponent, and I'm excited to see what this match brings us. Now, next turn, we do have a perfect turn. Honestly, this deck doesn't mind going first or second. You know, if we're going first, we do have the ability to evolve as fast as possible and take as many KOs as we can, or do as much damage as we can as soon as possible, which is nice in a kind of slower deck like this. However, going second, like if we went second with this turn, we probably would have had a better setup, and also we would put my opponent under item lock, which could feel kind of great. Now, my opponent's going to miss Fortune Sisters and actually hit the nuts. They're going to get rid of Crushing Hammer, E-Switch, Nest Ball. That's insane. That's actually a wild discard from my opponent, and they leave themselves with 2 cards in hand. Sunny Bloom will make sure they stay at 4, and that actually might be the biggest counter to this deck I have ever seen. Literally all of the hand disruption that I would love to do to my opponent, they could just nullify with Sunny Bloom, since they just dropped to 4. So this, I don't totally know what I'm up against, but I do know I may have some problems going into it. For now, I am just going to Arven for Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and probably a Handheld Fan. I will Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I will gladly get 2 Capsakids down. I will most definitely need both of them. And we've got a bunch of energy in hand, plus a tool, which I'm not going to attach just yet. I think I'm just going to hold the hand, Ogerpon. Next turn, I can go in with two-headed crushing, excuse me. Start swinging, get the tool attached, and start trying to cause some problems for my opponent. It seems they're playing some sort of control deck based on the Misfortune Sisters. They've got a heavy, honestly, like every part of this deck is so perfect to deal with like a hand control deck. They got B-Barrel to make sure they're always going up to 5. Scovillain B-Barrel more so to make sure they've always got a great hand. And we're going to lose our perfect hand. Okay, that's a little annoying, and it's not the end of the world. And then a Radiant Venusaur, so that when they go into their turn, their hand is also as full as possible. This hand is not bad so long as Bug Catching Set actually hits a, what do you call it? A Scovillain EX. And I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bench the Ogerpon and try to Teal Dance to get something to shuffle my deck, since I know 2 of my 4 Scovillains are on the bottom. I'd really like to shuffle it up and kind of bring them back up top. My opponent is just going to pass for turn. We'll top deck an energy, which isn't perfect, but it'll get the job done. It's just more energy that I can play down immediately. We'll get an energy attached to Ogerpon, which will bring me another Ogerpon. I need to make sure that I have 1 energy card in my deck, but for now, I can attach another one because I still have the attach on. Oh my god, okay. Well, I'm not going to do that one in case I whiff another energy. And I actually whiff all sorts of Pokemon. That's not great. Alright. One more Teal Dance. Ultra Ball. One time. Let me see it. What we got? What we got? We're Arven. I'll take an Arven. Bug Catching Set. Alright, put it all on a gamble. Scovillain EX. No. Naturally, I would not hit such luck. I think all I'm going to do here is just attach to Ogerpon. If nothing else, I could start swinging next turn with Ogerpon. I'm just going to put my opponent under item lock real quick. And you know what I didn't process in the past 10 seconds? That I'm up against a mirror match. I don't know how I went the rest of their turn and all of my turn without realizing that I'm in a mirror match. But here we are. Scovillain, yeah, what? I'm so lost. I'm so unbelievable. Whatever. Alright, we can do this. I just need to get a Scovillain before they do. And I'm confident that I could take them down when I boss KO their only Capsakid. This is not what I want to see at all, but it's okay. We can make it work because I can be the aggressor in this match. I'm actually going to Teal Dance here. I kind of want to be the more aggressive player here. Get as many... That Iono feels awesome. But I think more importantly, dealing with Scovillain, if I could KO their active before they deal with any of my Capsakids, I'd feel better. I got Iono going into next turn to make sure I could try to get a Scovillain EX out, and 1 more energy, so I don't mind getting that extra energy attached to Teal Mask Ogerpon here. And worst comes to worst, I could energy switch off too. I mean, I know we're down 1 from their Misfortune Sisters. I tried to make this deck post-rotation proof. I believe everything in it should be good post-rotation. I know I got some hate on a couple of my other videos because I had a couple cards that do rotate out, but I believe in those videos I also talked about what to replace them with, or what I'll be replacing them with. So, you know, I guess people just mute me or something. I don't really know, but regardless, I'm going to be doing my best to make sure that these decks are rotation proof on screen for y'all, because people seem to like that a bit more, and they are also playing some Crushing Hammers. Flipping Tails, though, which is big. I'm going to really need to bank on those Tails. We will be under Itchy Pollen, so chances are I won't be able to set up my active end. They're going Judge, man. All right. So even if I get like Energy Switch and everything, I won't be able to pull it off. I do need some sort of retreat option, which I get with Arven for Rescue Board, which feels kind of nice. And they can pull out their own Scovillain EX, but they don't have any Capsakids on the bench to evolve into the following turn. So if they just go Itchy Pollen here, we are going to be chilling. Honestly, Radiant Venusaur, most fire Radiant ever, besides Radiant Jirachi. Those are two of the most underrated, two of my personal favorite Radiants, so I kind of love seeing my opponent, you know, playing it down. I totally would smack Radiant Venusaur in this deck, but I didn't want to get any more hate on the types of decks I use, since we're getting very, very close to rotation at this point, and it's safe to say I am so excited for it. So my opponent is going to draw up to 4 cards in their hand with Sunny Balloon, and I cannot use my items. However, I should probably just Arven here. Well, Arven for what? Ultra Ball? Hey, you know what? Let me go Bug Catching Set at this point. That's fine. I got a Judge in my hand. I believe in the Bug Catching Set. We'll smack a Rescue Board on my active here. Definitely not the Pokemon I thought I would be rescue boarding, but then again, I also didn't really think I'd be stuck in a mirror match at any point in this video. I have not seen Scovillain EX played in such a long time, so for a mirror match to appear out of nowhere for game 1 was not on my bingo card, but I do love to see it. My opponent is going to promote Radiant Venusaur. I believe 3, 6, 9, 12. We are swinging for KO right now. We're swinging for a clean 150. If they get 2 more energy attached, we might not be able to KO them, since we will be burned, confused, and poisoned. If I attack with my current Pokemon and flip Tails, I will take 3 damage counters from the confusion. So that wouldn't be awesome. They're definitely going to go B-Barrel. Yeah, B-Barrel here so they could Nest Stash, B-Barrel, draw into everything they absolutely need to. They need energy plus... They need Teal Mask, Ogerpon, 2 energy, and an energy switch. And they're going to go Misfortune Sisters. Okay, and they're going to get rid of my Unfair Stamp. That is so annoying. Alright, that's fine. I think I'm less worried about decking out and more worried about winning via just prize cards at this point. I think that's going to be our best bet. To deal with my opponent as effectively as possible. I don't have any way to get rid of this Handheld Fan, but that being said, I've got a lot of... I mean, I guess they could put the energy on Budew. That would be utterly useless, but it's not the end of the world. I got plenty of extra energy in the deck. I really don't have to attach anything else. I really don't think I need to draw into anything else, again, other than a Scovillain. But we'll get there. I got Bug Catching Set, 2 Crushing Hammers in case they do attach any energy to their bench Capsakids, and Judge. And they're just going to counter Catcher up a Pokemon. I really don't care who. I mean, everyone here I could retreat very easily. They'll just bring up Capsakid. That's fine. Because I am confident I can pull what I need here. We got 2 Crushing Hammers, which I'm not going to play. I do plan on KOing their active this turn. Actually, I guess I might not, huh? I'll play Bug Catching Set first. See what I draw into. This is perfect. Do I even want to Judge? I actually don't think I do. I don't think I do at all. I kind of want to just swing, maybe? Right? Probably. Hold the hand, see what they go into next turn, then Judge. We'll just 2-headed Crushing here. I won't KO the Venusaur, but I think that's okay. I could promote Ogerpon and take the KO, but I kind of want to go for as much disruption as possible. Getting rid of a switch is huge. Yeah, that Radiant Venusaur can stay in the active spot. Oh, man. And a Buddy-Buddy Poffin shouldn't change much. They'll probably get down any Capsakids they need when they need it, where it's really just going to be a very slow slugfest. But we're 2-shotting them, they're 2-shotting us. We're up 2 prize cards, and they had 2 switch cards in hand. That is insane. But I respect my opponent for having the nuts like that. They can say for Maniac's code breaking, then they can Nest Stash and B-Barrel. They can draw into every single thing they need, which would probably be Energy Switch Scovillain, if I had to take a guess. Get that energy off Radiant Venusaur, smack it down on their active, right? And then, yeah, if they got Energy Switch here, no, they get Scovillain. Okay, that's fine. Then they can B-Barrel for 5 cards. The first card they get was from Maniac, so it should be a guarantee that they got something playable. and it's going to be a legacy energy. That is so annoying in a Crushing Hammer. Okay. Well, this gets more annoying by the second, if I do say so myself. They are going to flip heads. They can get rid of one energy, I'd imagine. Yep, it would be from my active. I got 2 Crushing Hammers of my own. I will play the Stadium, I guess, just to thin my deck. Even though it's scary against a potential milling deck, I'm confident that enough attacking turns in a row, we can take them down. And they'll use Chili Snapper Bind, so I'm burned and can't retreat, right? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Definitely... My opponent's definitely not happy they're using that, but I do have 2 Crushing Hammers, so I can hopefully get rid of that legacy energy before it could come into effect. And we are going to flip Tail, so we will stay burned going into our next turn, which is fine. As long as we can attack, we're good. I'll smack both Crushing Hammers. I've got a decent chance at... There we go, getting rid of the legacy. That's big. That's so huge. All right, this thing could go away. I'm not going to flip the other Crushing Hammer. I'm just going to smack down League Headquarters, get it out of my deck for Judge, and hopefully just draw into 1 energy card here would be awesome. Energy Switch, I'll take it. I will gladly take that. So we'll move this on over to my active. We'll Handheld Fan my active. Why not? Let's have some fun. And then we'll two-headed Crushing again. So they will get to move in energy. That's actually very bad because my hand is very dead. And I'm going to get rid of some Pokemon search cards. Wait, yeah, now I've got like top deck and energy. I got what? 3, 6. I got 7 energy in play. I got 1 in the discard pile. I have 2 energy left in my deck and 21 cards to see. Is our rod gone? No, it is not. Okay, that's going to be huge, actually, finding my rod. I could be in a very dangerous scenario if my opponent gets rid of a rod or something and they play area. They could get rid of the Nest Ball. It's fine. They get a lot more item, type disruption cards. I got Misfortune Sisters, Airy. Definitely a fun build of this deck, but I was trying to go as, post-rotation friendly as possible, and, B-Bear rotates. So, as cool as this build is, it's, I feel like the old style versus the new style Scovillain. I'm actually kind of love seeing this showdown here. We can both just Chili Snapper bind each other. I'll take them down first because I did get to swing with a harder attack immediately. And next turn, there is hope that I could draw something solid that can get me going. Can I heal from the burn? No, I can't. All right, yeah, I didn't even want to heal from the burn. It wasn't worth it anyways. All right, what we got? We got Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Not a super playable card. It seems that we're just going to be in a battle of the burns here, which is not what I expected to ever say in almost any of my videos. But whatever, we're here. I think at this point, I'm going to cue a time lapse because I have a feeling we're going to be burning each other for a while. So I will see y'all when something interesting actually happens. Deuces. Okay, so I realized something that I definitely forgot to take note of. My opponent can just two-headed Crushing, so that whole mini time lapse was a waste of time. I apologize. Didn't really think it through too much. Now, that being said, I'm in complete and utter top deck mode. Now that my opponent has two-headed Crushing, and they get rid of Arven. Oh my gosh. Ah, man. Alright, this is bad. This is very bad. They've also healed from the burn. I can reburn them this turn, but this is not good. I can take them out with this Ogerpon right here, which is good. And my opponent is so close to decking out, which is going to be really interesting to see. That being said, they do have Squavet. And we get Iono? Oh, yeah. That's what I needed. Come on, give me an energy card. Give me one of my 2 energy cards. Oh, man, we're not there. We're not there yet at all. And I really can't use it. I'm just going to have to Chili Snapper bind my opponent. Let the burn slowly whittle them away. They've got... Oh my god, wait! I won from deck out. I forgot. I Iono'd. to no cards in their deck. They had nothing to draw at the start of their turn. I was so worried about getting the energy and then missing it and then the panic that I forgot there's another win con in this deck. And it's deck out. Yo, that was a ridiculous match number 1. I had no idea what was happening. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a mess. I'll see y'all in match number 2. Let's see if we can guarantee that positive record with Scovillain EX in the next one. Welcome to match number 2. My opponent leads Cleffa, I lead Budew. It is a battle of the baby starting Pokemon, and they get down a Squawkabilly EX. Is this Regidrago? We will see. I do have 2 Nest Balls and a Capsakid, which is awesome, but other than that, my hand is useless, so it's not going to save me too much here. And they get rid of a Boss's Orders and a Research. They have a fully blinged out deck. I love to see it. It's always super cool when your opponent gets that nice blinged out deck, and they get the Teal Mask Ogerpon. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is Regidrago, because it plays Cleffa. I would say it's Raging Bull again, but they're playing Cleffa, and I feel like that's never in Raging Bull because they almost always have the Donk KO. Now we do have Itchy Pollen, which really could save us. And they're gonna Ultra Ball here, get rid of Vessel and Energy Switch. Yeah, they're gonna take the Mew. Okay, definitely not what I expected. I thought for sure they'd take a Dragon Pokemon, you know, something like Dragapult EX, because then when they use Squawkabilly, it would be in the discard pile because, well, they discard their hand. But no, they'll just Mew. They'll restart for 3, hoping that my opponent. Well, at least I'm sure they're hoping they get a Dragon Pokemon. I'm hoping that they drew 3 Professor's Research they can't use anymore. And they're going to manual attach an energy to Squawkabilly and then Squawk and Seize. That's insane. They had 3 energy in their hand. I'm surprised they didn't attach the Fire Energy. I guess they actually might be looking into going for a Motivate. That's nuts. That can't be good. That's bad news bears for my opponent. And they're going to Energy Switch. I'm sure they wish they had that Fire Energy attached to Squawkabilly so that they can move that over to Regidrago. And I'm sure from here we will just see a pass. Now what's nice is I am going to put my opponent under item lock, so they cannot use Energy Switch the following turn, which could potentially save us. For now, I'm going to smack down a Capsakid. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to get 2 Capsakids, and then I'm going to use another. Actually, do I hold the Nest Ball for Fez if my opponent takes a KO? I actually might do that. I'm going to Bug Catching set here, and I'm going to take a Capsakid and an Energy. Alright, that's not ideal. Not ideal at all. I'm gonna bank that I can somehow dig out. I'm going to hold that guy for now. I'm gonna hope my opponent KOs my active in a weird way so that I can Nest Ball for Fez. For now, I'm just gonna Crushing Hammer. I'm gonna get rid of this Grass Energy on Regidrago. Let's go. Just had to manifest it and act like the only thing I ever could have flipped was heads. And here, I think I actually am gonna Pokemon League headquarters so that my opponent cannot retreat and go in with the Motivate and set up Regidrago that way. Now my Itchy Pollen isn't gonna work. I don't think many things through, do I? No, not at all. Literally never. Good job, Chris. That was awesome. I forget that the stadium doesn't just affect my opponent. It also does damage me too. That and they just had the bump anyways. Gosh, I really don't use my head ever. Well, it's not a Ginj video if you don't get at least one awesome misplay, is it? So, you know, that goes pretty well. And after the scrappiest of match number 1s, I mean, like, I have no idea what I'm doing at all. My opponent does have a restart for 1. They need a Research in hand if they want to do something, or a Regidrago V-Star so that they can take out 2 Energy Switch. And they're actually going to hit with every single grass or dragon Pokemon possible. They literally only got 2 Regidragos. That's nuts. And Radiant Alakazam, which really doesn't, I think that's okay. I mean, even if they went double Energy Switch, it's not going to do anything, right? Like, they could set up Regidrago, but they don't have any attacks they could copy. So they're going to take, what, Energy Switch and Research, right? No, they took double Energy Switch. What? Huh? Okay, that's fine. That's okay. We do have a few more Crushing Hammers. If I could get evolved and just be a little safe from Kieran, I think I would feel better. And they're just going to Grasping Draw for 70. I really didn't think that Pokemon League headquarters through, did I? No, not at all. And I'm going to regret it. I am going to regret it. They're going to not Grasping Jaw. They're gonna Apex Dragon. They don't have anything they could... What? Huh. Alright, you know what? One misplay balances out with another misplay. I do get a Nest Ball. That is kind of nice. Alright, here I am gonna take an Ogerpon just to thin the deck a little bit more. I am so hesitant to take out Fezandipiti early, but I'm going to just to thin my deck one more card, because I'm just feeling that desperate. And I will now Itchy Pollen for 10, which probably won't change the outcome of the game. It's not an effective damage counter, but more importantly, they are an item lock, so they can restart for one card here. But if they don't, like if they get Ultra Balls and Dragon Pokemon, they can't play the Ultra Balls, which is really nice. So my opponent is going to be digging deep to try to KO this Budew. They're going to restart for 2, bump their own stadium with the Jamming Tower. It does shut down our Rescue Board, but Rescue Board is not a stadium or a tool card. I rely on an insane amount in this deck. I feel like for the most part, if my opponent is playing Boss's Orders, they're taking a KO anyway, so they're just going to pretty much pass for a turn since they're just copying Legacy Dragon. And I will, man, you know what? I'll Teal Dance. I need to draw a card, more importantly, than set up a Capsakid with no Scovillain, and we'll get a Judge. I'll actually play that. I'll smack the Rescue Board down here. I'll rip the Judge. I'll give him an extra card at the potential to possibly attack this turn, and it's not going to be possible, so I'll just Itchy Pollen for another 10 damage. I do have another Judge. I could play my Buddy-Buddy Poffins. I really don't want to. I want that last space for a Teal Mask Ogerpon, and in case my opponent does get a KO somehow, some way, I would like to save my Buddy-Buddy Poffins to get Capsakids down the line, just in case. Sorry, I lost my total train of thought. This is a great hand, actually, for us. We got Bug Catching Set to hopefully draw a Scovillain. We got 2 energy, so I can attach 1 and Teal Dance for 1 card. My opponent is actually closer to decking themselves out. We might go 2 games in a row decking them out, and they are going to pass 4 turns since they have no Dragon Pokemon in their deck. For now, I am going to Teal Dance, dig 1 card deeper before Bug Catching Set. I just want to make my odds of getting a Scovillain EX as high as possible, and we'll get Arven, which does feel awesome if I do with this Bug Catching Set, and I just had to speak it into existence, didn't I? Okay. Well, Arven, I am sadly going to have to take the Ultra Ball, and a Handheld Fan actually goes crazy. They are going to leave item lock. I really don't want to get rid of Black Belt Training because a Counter Catcher plus Black Belt Training spells KO on Mew EX. It could be huge, but I feel like Disruption is going to be better for us at this point, so maybe I just get rid of these, play it safe. Keep my 2 balls. Let's do that. And then I'll take a Scovillain here. And we got Handheld Fan too. Oh no, 2 Jammers in play. Ah, that's so unfortunate. Okay, I'll hold the Handheld Fan for now. It's not the end of the world. We are just going to retreat. Yeah, I don't have a good Stadium Bump, so I'm just going to retreat. Use 2-Headed Crushing. Hopefully discard something essential from their hand and deck. Like an Earthen Vessel to get rid of a Dragon Pokemon, and a Nest Ball actually really doesn't change absolutely anything at this point, so that's fine. But I am taking a KO, and their only Regidrago V-Star in play, and actually only Regidrago, period. I will be taking a KO on next turn, and by the looks of their discard pile, there's not much they can do either. They are going to Night Stretcher to take back a Grass Energy. They're going to go to set up Teal Mask Ogerpon as their backup attacker the following turn. Kind of love to see that. Definitely not what you expect to see. Not the attacker they planned on using, but then again, this was definitely not the deck they planned on playing against. So if I could just... Actually, I don't even know if I really need to draw into anything. I mean, I got Boss's Orders, but I do want to KO their active. If they go in with Ogerpon, they go in with Ogerpon, but they just retreat the Regidrago into Squawk. Hey, I mean, if you want to give me the boss KO on your only Regidrago, so be it. And please energy switch to it. No, you energy switch to Squawk to motivate to get energy back on Regidrago, buy yourself another turn. That's fine. I'm going to punish you for that. I did get rid of my only Black Belt's training, so I can't take the first prize card of the game, but this deck is not itching to play super fast. In all honesty, you actually really don't mind playing a slow game like this. You know, we're just putting pressure on our opponent. The item lock, the energy disruption, the hand disruption. It's such a complete disruption deck. It's kind of nice. So for now, we are going to go Boss's Orders on the Regidrago that they are attempting to set up. 2-Headed Crushing again, and I mean, I'll play him the deck out at this point. We'll get rid of a Rod Osbig and an Ogerpon. Yeah, good night. Good night. How many disruption or recovery cards are they down? Because they just played a Night Stretcher. We just got rid of a Rod. We get Energy Scovillain EX on. That's awesome. Okay, so they got no Dragon Pokemon they could copy just yet. They do promote Squawk. And they're down 2 Rod Night Stretcher. They actually might not have any recovery left. Oh, that would be so sweet. And they get a Regidrago back on the bench. They can motivate and get too much needed energy onto the Regidrago. And I think here I will probably just boss it up again, right? Yeah, probably. They go Iono. Okay, so we'll draw a new 4. Never mind, I won't boss his orders or Pokemon. And I won't evolve Attachment Energy to my Capsakid and get a second Scovillain EX going. Just kidding. I actually might do exactly what I just said. I lost because I got Nest Ball Bug Catching set. So that feels cool. My opponent is going to get Kyurem in the discard pile. That's bad. I need to evolve this Capsakid ASAP. I cannot let them take a KO on Budew Capsakid. That would be awful for us. Although, if they do use Kyurem, they get rid of all the energy attached to their active, which really might just make them lose. Especially if I could somehow get a Crushing Hammer off this Teal Dance and get rid of the fire energy attached to Regidrago. That could save us. How many Regidragos are they down? They're down 1. Yeah, they probably got a Regidrago. And we got Counter Catcher. Not going to work, though. Okay, so for now, let's go Nest Ball. Let's take out another Ogerpon. It's not Kyuremable, and I think that's what I like the most. We got 3 Grass Energy in the deck. I'm not going to... Am I going to Teal Dance? I actually am really tempted to Teal Dance first, just to draw a card, because this is such a solid backup attacker going into the rest of this game. I kind of like that. I'd rather get the Scovillain EX and whiff the energies since we're okay and I get the energy. Anyways, I could use another Teal Dance. I'm going to Bug Catching set in case I do get the evolution, and I do, so I could just start slowly setting up this guy on the bench, and I love the position we're getting going into the rest of this game. I can two-headed Crushing here, get rid of a card from my opponent's hand and the top card of their deck. Regidrago V-Star and Goodra, that helps them. that's bad. I was about to celebrate Goodra. But that's an awesome Pokemon to discard. They can't use it. No, now it's in the discard pile. They really can use it. They got 3 cards left in their deck, and they play Research. Oh. Well, they have no cards in their deck now, so I believe they just lose at this point. You could use whatever attack you want. All I have to do is pass for turn, and I've officially decked out 2 of my opponents. Playing the Scovillain. This is such a goofy, funny deck. I love this. I love this so much. They're going to use Giratina V-Stars. Attack. They're going to use Lost Impact to KO our active. Lost Zone 2 of their energy. And, well, it really doesn't matter who I give them now, does it? I mean, I'll throw Scovillain in the active. I'll pass for turn since, well, that's going to be game. They got no cards to draw. I can use Fezandipiti to draw 3 cards, and maybe I would have drawn an energy. Maybe I wouldn't have. It doesn't really matter at that point. They had nothing. 2 wins, 2 opponents with 0 cards. Let's go to match number 3 and see how that one falls. All I know right now is we got the guaranteed positive record. Welcome to match number 3. We are staring down a Duskull with a perfect hand going into this next turn. I don't have any energy, and all my opponent does is a draw pass. Well, I don't hate to see that. For now, I will Arven for Buddy-Buddy Poffin and Handheld Fan, I guess. I'm going to assume it's a Dragapult based on the Soul Duskull lead. For now, I will go Buddy-Buddy Poffin for... I'm not going to take out Budew. I have no way to get into the active, so that would be pointless. If I had Rescue Board, I honestly would have considered getting Budew here. I'm just going to take 2 Capsakid. I'm going to smack down my Ogerpon. I'm not going to play Nest Ball yet. In case my opponent somehow does have Rare Candy, Dusknoir, and they can deal with the Capsakid, I'd like to get Fezandipiti in play so I can draw 3 cards. I'll hold the Nest Ball 1 more turn. For now, I'll just pass for turn. Swing it over to my opponent. I do have Judge going into next turn, so I can disrupt my opponent's hand down to 4, as well as shrink my own, but my hand is rather unplayable right now. I feel like it can only get worse from here. I don't think we can necessarily brick more than we kind of are past our Judge. And they will get a Dusclops plus a Psychic Energy down. Well, if they go Curse Black... Actually, I said if they go Dusknoir to KO Capsakid, they would actually just lose if they did that, so that's kind of funny. For now, we are going to just draw into another Scovillain. That is fine by me. I will not play the Crushing Hammer. That is a card that will most likely see the discard pile anyways. I will, however, play the Handheld Fan, and now judge my opponent down to 4 cards. Although they did have a dead hand, so did I, and I do generally like playing the game. So I will use, we have 3 energy, it's actually perfect because I can Teal Dance, and Manual Attach. If I draw an energy switch here, we got game. That's literally all I need. This Teal Dance could spell the slow dunk, but the donk KO, and we are going to get a bug catching set. Close, but no cigar, and another energy is perfect because now I got it next turn no matter what. Because I just retreat, attach to active, swing, KO, game. We'll pass for a turn. I gave my opponent 4 new cards. I'm curious to see if it is an Arven for Buddy-Buddy Poffin for double Dreepy, or they just have the Dreepy like that. And dude, literally, it's like I've played this game at least once before. It's almost like I know too many decks. They will get Buddy-Buddy Poffin and Sparkling Crystal. If they do not play the Sparkling Crystal this turn, I will judge their hand down to 4, and then I will two-headed Crushing and hope to get rid of it. Actually, do I hope to get rid of it right now? I'm gonna play Crushing Hammer, try to get rid of this fire energy. If I why do I even think that there's a possibility I would flip tails? Now, I should know. I'm flipping heads no matter what. There's nothing my opponent can do about that. I am just going to retreat into Scovillain. I'm actually not going to play the Judge. A 1 in 4 chance of getting rid of Sparkling Crystal is better than a 1 in 42 chance of getting rid of Sparkling Crystal. So I'm just going to hope that their A-Spec falls with my first attack, which will also take down their Dusclops. And it won't. I will get rid of a Dracloak, but hey, that's a draw engine, not necessarily a card I want my opponent to have, so I will gladly take it down. And now I think we're in a solid spot here. I mean, Dragapult is still scary. They can effectively start one-shotting pretty much all of my Pokemon once they get going, and use a couple attacks. I know they do 200 damage, but once they start putting damage counters down, it's going to be next to impossible for me to not feel like they're one-shotting everything, because they'll just put 6 on Scovillain, they'll put 1 on Ogerpons. You know, it's going to be kind of a nightmare. So the farther I could get ahead right now, the better. I'm sure they'll take a Dracloak here. No, they'll take Fez. That's fine, because I'm just going to boss KO this Dreepy if they don't evolve it this turn. Or if it doesn't evolve into Dragapult. I guess they could go in with a Dracloak, but I'm really not too scared of that. Yeah, they just... now I get rid of their A-Spec. Oh my god, and a Crushing Hammer. It's not even worth playing it, to be honest. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put this energy here to set up another backup attacker. I'm going to go boss on their Dreepy with the energy and Sparkling Crystal. And then I will two-headed Crushing again, taking my second prize card, which is very, very crucial in this match. And get rid of Arven Countercatcher. Yeah, that... Don't mind if I yes. You don't need those. Those are cards you didn't need to play anyways. And I get my own Arven. Whew, man. Safe to say the deck is flowing. The deck is flowing, doing its thing. If they somehow take a KO this turn, 1, I'd be amazed. 2, I'm going to Arven for Unfair Stamp. So yeah, they're down to Sparkling Crystal. Now 3 Arven with the addition of this guy. And they're going to go Rare Candy, Forest Seal Stone. However, I don't see any V Pokemon in play, so they cannot use Forest Seal Stone just yet. They will Rare Candy into Dragapult EX. But as of right now, that Dragapult is rather unplayable. And you know what I forgot to do last turn was bench that Capsakid. That actually could be problematic. I could regret that, but whatever. It's fine. We'll rock. I plan on getting it down next turn and then using Arven anyways, and they get a Duskull down. I totally misplayed by not getting Capsakid down. I was so excited to just have Boss KO on a Sparkling Crystal Pokemon before it evolves that I forgot about setting myself up even more. But that's okay. That's okay. If they get an energy attached to Dragapult, we Crushing Hammer. If they don't do anything else, I search for another Arven. Or I use Arven to search for another Crushing Hammer, and then I really make sure that energy falls. And I think it's kind of insane. They're not even going to bother with V Pokemon. They said, you know what, Forest Seal Stone on Dragapult. We're in a prayer of a situation anyways. Energy switch here. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm going to Arven for Bug Catching set, because I feel like that's just the next best card. If I could get an extra grass energy or 2 to get some Teal Dances and some Scovillain set up, that would be awesome. This works. I'll take an energy for this Ogerpon to Teal Dance. Never a bad backup attacker. I can energy switch energy off to another Scovillain if needed. But, or I could go double energy switch. More importantly, I do still have a Scovillain EX for this guy going into the next turn. For now, I will put my opponent down to 1 card in their hand, 2 off the top deck. And a Dragapult falls as well as a Lance. Oh, yeah. See ya. They actually will get a pretty big hand because they do have Fez. But now I get my Rescue Board. Okay. I mean, I could also Ultra Ball away Rescue Board. Unless they get Crispin, they get Iono. So they can't play Crispin. They can't use Dragon Pult this turn. It's like the last thing I'm scared of. It's just Crushing Hammers is the rest of the game at this point for me. Crushing Hammer and Handheld Fan. That last Dragon Pult, I am committed to not letting it set up. We are actually bullying this deck so hard it's not even funny. They've got so many cards in hand. I cannot wait to get rid of the most important one, obviously, with two-headed Crushing. This is such a funny deck. They're going to Luminous Sign and fail it. Oh, nah. I feel so bad. They're going to get rid of Dusknoir. They probably play a 2-1-2 line, though, of Dusknoir. They're going to take what might be the last 2 energy in their deck. Never mind, Night Stretcher. To get back a Dreepy, not an energy. Okay. This Crushing Hammer, if it flips heads, legitimately might just win the game straight up. Because then they'll need another couple turns to get some energy going. That feels awesome. That truly does feel great. They'll get a Fire Energy attached to Dragapult. They'll Ultra Ball away, make their hand even smaller, making my chance of taking out that Psychic Energy sitting there even greater. If I were my opponent, I would not use that Ultra Ball until next turn since they can't evolve anyways. Because now I can get rid of Dracloak or Psychic Energy, both of which would be very devastating. I will not play the Pokemon League headquarters just yet. I will Crushing Hammer. If I could take out that Fire Energy now, it's like, what do you do? If you're my opponent, what do you do? Take out the Psychic Energy too, just because. We're like that. We're just like that. Dracloak, yeah, good night. Buddy-Buddy Poffin, that's fine. It doesn't really, they don't need it at this point. And I got another bug catching set for hopefully another couple energy. They're going to go in with the Dreepy. They need some more energy recovery before I start worrying. We've got 5 energy in the discard pile. They do have another Dracloak in their hand to make sure that they can use Recon Directive, and my opponent is getting mighty close to the deck out once more. So there's a chance we could go... Ooh, they do get the energy recovery. They get Super Odd. Okay, that's fair. As awesome as Dragapult is, though... I mean, it's possible it could take 6 prize cards. It's just not super likely with the lead I have. Because once I swing into it once, I can then go in with Teal Mask Ogerpon, right? Because we do 3, 6, 9, 12, 1580. Yeah, I could just go into Teal Mask Ogerpon if they KO my active and bully them that way. Although what I am noticing is they do have to swing into my Scovillain with Handheld Fan. So I'll just move... What did they take 2 of? It took 2 fire, so I'll just move their Psychic Energy to Luminion, because, you know, I don't know. Can't be too safe. Actually, you know what? A switch could be a little annoying, too. But if they switch, I get to move the... If they go Jet Headbutt, I move the Fire Energy now, which would slow them down even more. This is so not a good spot for my opponent. I don't know how they dig themselves out of this. They just pass. Yeah, it's the best way to do it. The best way to do it. We get Budew. Okay. Will bug catching set. I'll gladly take these 2 cards out of my deck. Just a thin. I am going to Teal Dance onto this guy because this is an awesome backup attacker at this point. And draw into a counter catcher that is going to be utterly useless. I will just 2-headed Crushing. Get rid of a card from my opponent's hand as well as the top card from their deck. A Bravery Charm falls as well as another Lance, which is not going to be too effective at this point, but I can take 1 more prize card, and it's a Grass Energy, which is needed for my benched Scovillain. Now, all they need is a Psychic Energy, and they can use their first attack this game. And I think that's okay, because I will just move... What did I say? I need to move the Psychic, I believe, right? Because they took 2 fire. They played Super Odd. Yeah, I need to move the Psychic, assuming they draw into it. They can. Actually... If they didn't top... Okay, I was going to say if they didn't top deck it, they have to flip the script and put themselves down to 1 card in their hand. That could be the worst thing in the world, too. They'll move some damage around. I'd imagine they go 2 damage... Or 1 damage counter on the setup Teal Mask Ogerpon, right? That's probably the safest play. Yeah, 5 on Scovillain, 1 on Ogerpon. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then we'll move this Psychic Energy down to Luminion on the bench. They can KO my active with Jet Headbutt. That would be a really funny play, actually. I think here, because there's a good chance they will take a KO next turn, I'm going to get down Fezandipiti. I guess I could have failed the Nest Ball that's in my hand. I'm just going to Teal Dance. I was like, I could attach to this Scovillain, but it's at this point, whatever. And we get energy switch, so I'm fine. I can move an energy to this guy since they might not have enough energy attached for this guy to take a KO. I could just move an energy onto Scovillain, and I could deal with them that way. As far as I know, they might only have fire energy. No, they probably have one psychic left in their deck, and we get rid of a counter catcher, which is huge, actually, because now they can't bring up this guy and rescue board, which might not change anything as of yet. They get the psychic energy down. Ah, man. It's already in their hand. Okay, that's fine. They could painful spoons. Ooh. They could move 1 damage counter onto the benched Scovillain EX with a, oh, man. That's got 5 damage counters on it, so they can one-shot that guy too. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, this deck is terrifying. They could easily come back from it. Oh my god, they take up. Let's go. Oh, no, wait, that actually works, right? Now we can't KO them this turn unless we get Black Belt's training, which we do have Flip the Script for. This is actually kind of funny. How do I do this? I'm gonna Nest Ball, but I don't... Unless I have another Ogerpon, I'm not gonna take anything. They'll put 5 damage counters on Scovillain. Okay. They could take a 4 prize card turn next turn. That's insane. Actually, I, essentially have to pull off the KO this turn. So who would I promote? I guess this guy, right? And just hope they don't have some sort of boss or gusting card. How many bosses orders and everything are in here? You got 1 boss and 2 counter catcher in here. They might be out, and I could judge them too. It doesn't feel awful. I'm gonna Nest Ball, just take a little peek, sees what's in my deck. I'll take an Ogerpon. That could be pretty big. Black Belt's training is the supporter of choice. That would just win me the game. Or Unfair Stamp into... Yeah. Okay, so let me flip the script here. Yeah, let me flip the script. Hope this gives me one of the 2 cards I'm looking for. Actually, you know what? Crushing Hammer does help if I could flip a heads. Yeah, that could be huge. What am I getting? I'm getting a Tails. Alright, that's fair. I had some insane luck in the beginning of the game. I can't complain that much. I'm going to Bug Catching set here, take an Energy and a Scovillain. I'm going to use Teal Dance on this guy to, again, hopefully draw into the 1 card needed to win the game. And I will not get it. Okay. Do I judge here? The chance of them having Gust isn't super high. The chance of them decking out is a bit higher. Yeah, so I think we just swing 2-headed Crushing. And we get rid of Switch and a Fire Energy. Okay, that's not bad. What do they need? They need boss's orders and they win the game. Boss or counter catcher. They're down 1 boss, 2 counter catchers. Like they might not have it. They have no cards left in their deck. They literally either have it or they don't. And they haven't played anything. So 3 games. Come on, just pass. Give me the deck out. I'm not attacking. No, they concede. All right. I mean, I'm upset, but I won. I can't be upset. I was just gonna pass for turn. That, as far as I'm concerned, is somehow 3 deck out wins. I mean, we kind of, I think, just had game no matter what there via KO, deck out. Doesn't really matter, just for the sole reason that they didn't have boss's orders. But yeah, they totally could have made that comeback. That is terrifying. But Scovillain did the job, man. I mean, it disrupted my opponent's energy. I disrupted my opponent's hand. I disrupted their deck. I ran them out of cards they needed, and boom. This is what happens. You go 3-0 off. Probably one of the most fun disruption decks I've actually ever played in my entire life. I, for real, hope you all enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making this one. So, yeah, with that being said, tune into the Creators Cook-Off, April 5th. It's just a couple weeks from now, and I'm looking forward to rotation, looking forward to hanging out with y'all more. With that being said, stay epic. Peace.